For some reason, after planting, a whole bunch of my cucumber plants died. So I'll have to go to the market today to replace these plants with new ones. I have my new cucumbers, and it is very early in the morning, and I want to get them planted before the sun hits the greenhouse because it's going to get very hot otherwise. And these are a different kind than the ones that I have planted. So I guess I'll be growing 4 different kinds of cucumbers this year. I may have overwatered the plants last night because I can see all these water droplets on the edges of the leaves this morning, and that's a sign of overwatering, I think. Interestingly, a couple of the cucumber plants seem to have sort of started over like this. And now I have replaced all of the dead cucumbers, and I put the little pots next to them so that I know which ones are the new kinds so that I can mark them later. Okay, now that I have actually had breakfast, I'm going to tie the plants to the ceiling of the greenhouse so that they can grow on the twine. And hopefully I have enough of the white twine that I can tie all the new cucumber plants that I brought from the market with this one so that I can tell them apart from the other ones that I'm going to tie with this brown twine. And because I really want to keep track of the different kinds of cucumbers that I grow this year so that I know which kinds are the family favorites so that I can buy only that kind next year. And today is pretty windy, so I'm hoping to get a good breeze through the greenhouse through the 2 doors so that I don't boil. Now, since the greenhouse has the supports not here, but here, I'm kind of worried that this will slip down. So what I'm going to do is actually do this one line that goes from here, from one end to the other, that I can sporadically tie to the center beam so that I can use it to tie the individual strings to it so that they don't slip down over time. And this year what I'm doing differently is I'm going to also tie up the peppers, because last year I didn't do that and they sort of bent over and they sort of bent over with the weight of the peppers once they started growing on them. So this year I want to do that because I think I remember my grandmother doing that when I was little, and she had such tall peppers that it was amazing to look at. So I want to emulate that. One of the main reasons why I wanted to tie these up today is this. Just look at the size of the corvetta cucumber plants here. They are so big and they're already starting to flower, which means cucumbers real soon. I once again have sweat in my eyeballs, but I have finished one side of three in the greenhouse, tying up the plants to the roof. So I think that it is now time to do a chicken walking break, because I don't really feel tired. I just feel like I should limit the sweating a little bit because I feel disgusting. It's really good for them to dust bathe in this heat because it cools them down really nicely, and it's one of their natural activities, so it doesn't stress them out like a cold water bath would. So I always want them to come under this place so that they can dust bathe in their favorite place. And during this heat wave, most of the walks that we do during the daytime, they just dust bathe here. They don't do a whole lot of walking around because it's just really hot. And with their feathers, and you see the way that the brown one is holding her beak open and her wings further apart, she is really feeling really hot, so that she needs to cool down. And this is the perfect place for her to do so, because the dirt is cooler and then they get it nicely between their feathers. And of course there's some pecking order things to figure out, but it's a really nice activity for them, and I love watching it because it's so cute. So while the chickens are in this area, I can see them from the greenhouse so that I can keep tying all of these. But fortunately, the middle row is going to be a lot easier than this one because a lot of this is just single file tomatoes. So that's less tying. Fiona, do not come in here. Fiona, hey, hey. Now this must be like at least the 7th storm that has just completely bypassed us, because they keep coming from that direction and just going way past us. And they're thundering and they're being so tempting, and I would just love to see one of those storms hit us, but unfortunately they never do. They never do, and I have to keep watering by hand. It's done. It's finally done. The entire greenhouse, all of the plants have been tied up and with their support ties, and that just makes me so happy, because this is like one of the biggest jobs with the greenhouse, and now we can just wait for this entire area to become just an oasis of food. I am so happy. And now it's time to go for a swim. Oh my god, it's finally happening. It's finally here. Look at all this rain. Now, with the biggest jobs in the greenhouse all done, and with my pumpkin patch finally planted, there is only one planting job left to do. And that is putting down the very neglected cabbages and rutabagas. But first we can let out the chickens. I've had to put some straw at the bottom of the nesting boxes because they've been breaking eggs. But it looks like we are not having any broken eggs today. But yes, the cabbages. I initially wanted the cabbages to take up the entire space between the beans and my herb bed that I planted a few days ago there. But unfortunately, I ran out of space to put the onions in, and the family really likes onions, so I had to plant all the onions that I had, all the seed onions. So I've taken up some of the cabbage space and put some onions in there, so there'll be less space for cabbages this year, but that's fine. Now, the reason that I'm putting all my cabbages and rutabagas all together is because these all need to be put under a veil so that they don't get eaten by cabbage worms. And now I'll put my teeny tiny kale plants that are just so cute at the moment in the edge here, and then the rutabagas will go in the center. And if you noticed, I already took off the cover from my early potatoes because they've grown so much. The plants are so tiny that you can barely tell where I put them, really. So since I have some more space in the cabbage veil area, I'm going to put down some more rutabaga seeds. And now since I am once again starting to feel like crap, and this time I don't really know why, I feel like I haven't eaten even though I have. So I'm not going to water it by hand, I'm just going to set up the sprinkler and let the whole garden have a round. We did get a bunch of rain a couple of days ago, but we haven't gotten any since, and I could feel that the first like 10 centimeters of the soil is kind of dry, so I'll set up the sprinkler. And that takes us from planting season to maintenance season. So this is the busiest time of the gardening season for me done, and I'm really happy about it. And I will give you a full garden tour when everything starts looking better. We have a candidate for the mother of the 22nd of June chicks that are arriving. And of course it's Cardi B, nobody is surprised. She is definitely broody. Yeah, you're a good girl. You're going to be the mother of 4 chicks. So she's going to be broody for a total of 2 weeks, and then she's going to get the chicks that I'm going to get from the breeder. And I really hope that she takes well to the chicks and that she's going to actually mother them and not try to peck them or anything. But we'll see how it goes when it's time. So last night I put Cardi B in the cage that I have prepared for her, and she seems to be sitting on the fake eggs and be all broody. So that has gone to plan. It is finally chick day, and excuse how I look because it is midsummer celebration season. So I spent part of the night partying, and now it is very early in the morning and I am feeling it. So now I'm going to the city to get the chicks, and and I have set up everything in the coop. The Cardi B is in her cage on the nest and very settled. And then I also, just in case the Cardi B doesn't accept the chicks, I also set up the little warming pad for the chicks. The warming, like the fake mother for the chicks when they don't have like a chicken to mother them. So I am ready for anything, hopefully. And the plan is that once I get the chicks here, I'm going to put them under Cardi B, and I'm just going to observe them for like an hour or so to make sure that Cardi B accepts them and doesn't try to pick them to death. So let's see how it goes. I have the chicks. They're so cute. Unfortunately, they didn't have any rooster chicks, so I don't know how I'm going to get a rooster yet. But instead of the rooster chick, I just got an extra green egg layer. They're so cute and tiny. I'm gonna I'm gonna keep the seat warming on just in case while we ride, and then Cardi B is going to be a mom. Okay, initially she was extremely like on edge, but I think she's calming down, and I physically put all of the chicks under her, and I think the instincts to keep them warm are kicking in because she's settling on them. She's not pecking them. So I'm just going to watch them now for a bit. Okay, it has been some time since I last picked up the camera because it was midsummer, and midsummer is like the biggest celebration in Estonia. So I was celebrating it with my friends and just hanging out. But the situation with the chicks has changed somewhat. First, the cage that I initially put them in turned out to have the gaps between the little spokes of the cage. The gaps were too wide, and the chicks got out. So my dad helped hold Cardi B because she was freaking out again, and I was catching all the chicks. And while that was happening, they were all just running around, and one of them ran directly under my foot, and I accidentally squashed it, and that chick did not make it, and that was horrible. And so now we have 3 chicks left. And another thing that changed is that Cardi B did not really turn out to be a good mom for the chicks, because she would just, like, she would be really calm when they were under her, but as soon as they started like exploring, like looking for food and water, as like Cardi B should have like shown them where the food and water is, but she didn't, and so the chicks started exploring, and as soon as the chicks started coming out from under Cardi B, she started pecking them really hard. And like some of my friends say that it's like normal for the mama hens to peck their chicks to like get back under them to be warm, but it seemed way too violent to be like okay. So I made the call that Cardi B is not going to be the mom to those chicks, and I put Cardi B out, like I put the chicks inside their new cage that they can't get out of anymore, and now Cardi B is not in that cage, and she just went straight back to brooding. It's like it looks like she might be one of the chickens who just wants to be broody but not get the results of the broodiness, because those chicks do exist, because those chickens do exist, and it is and so now I just have to break Cardi B's broodiness and take care of the chicks on my own. But I think that they will be integrated well into the flock, because they are in the cage that is in the same room where the chickens sleep and like they lay their eggs. So they're going to be well integrated, but I'm not going to let them out for a while yet, because I want them to grow somewhat bigger and also stay warm under their warming plate. So yes, and also I don't know if I told you, but the hatchery didn't have any male chicks that when I went to get the chicks, so that means that I didn't get a rooster chick like I wanted to. So now I am looking at the online chicken keeping groups that we have in Estonia, like near my area, and asking around if anyone has like chicks that are a couple days old that I could get just one chick off and hope that they grow to be a rooster. But if not, then I would just have an extra hen, and that would also be fine, because I would still like to like raise my own rooster and try again to like have a good rooster in the flock, because Fiona is doing well as like the keeper of the flock, but She's not a rooster. I would really like to have a rooster who looks after them better. So that's the update. I hope that it hasn't been too. I hope that it hasn't been too rambly for you. They're really tiny. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Teeny tiny baby. But they're already getting adult wings. They're so tiny and little and cute. So fluffy. Little sweetie. And this is what their cage looks like. It's really big. It's the cage that the other chickens grew up in when they were little. And I have like a regular little pan of water that they can drink from that it's getting a bit nasty. And then I have this water that I'm trying to teach them. They have drunk from it a little bit, but I just want to make sure that they drink from it more. But currently they are under their brooder plate, which is nice and warm, even though it's nice and warm in the coop as well. And they have food and they are nice and happy chicks. I was going to give Cardi B a cold bath, but I guess I have to let the ladies drink because, of course, everything is better than their regular drinking setup. We're going to take another bath. Then the bath is going to be lovely and cold. You're okay. It's a good thing to get cooled down because you have been heating up, girl. You can't be heating up in this warm summer. Let's cool down. Yeah. No, let's cool down. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. It's cool. It's nice. This is nice. Yeah. You did good, girl. Good job.